Here's a large hexahedron in the sky. Here you'll see all the individuals inside of it. I'm gonna move the camera just a tiny bit to the center if I can without upsetting anything. Okay. Check out the operation inside a hexahedron cluster. This is up in the sky. Those little red dots are just the organisms. They glow red because the hexahedron is put on a red hue or an orange hue. But you can actually see the structure. And now I'm shooting in high definition, and this should come out. Last time I took this was in 480. Let's see what happens in high definition. Okay, the workings of a hexahedron cluster are there are orbs inside. They can position themselves anywhere around the nucleus or around the outer perimeter of the hexahedron in all different dimensions. And they act like tuning forks, and they set the vibrational frequencies for the hexahedron cluster. The individual organisms inside that are not the large clusters doing the tuning and the frequency setting are there to provide energy, and their momentum, their biomass, and their heat that's produced from their movement all act to power the hexahedron cluster. The outside perimeter that's green is a force field. The inner perimeter is another force field. And that almost looks like a square, but it's really not a square. It is a hexahedron. They can change that hexahedron shape many different ways. There's all kinds of ways to form a hexahedron, and they can also change that shape into any other shape that they desire. You can see all of the individual insects around this hexahedron cluster, because that hexahedron cluster is the nucleus for a much larger cluster that surrounds it, and all the other entities or insect-type entities that are alien to this planet that you cannot see. But you can see inside the center of the hexahedron there is a nucleus, and it's surrounded by large orb clusters. In this particular one, the orb clusters are mainly inside the center of the hexahedron, and it's really powering up, and all those little red dots flying around, that's just all the other insect-like beings that are on the outside and that surround the nucleus. So they all provide energy for that cluster, and you can see the structure inside the cluster. This should come out because this is in superfine high definition, and it's 920 by 1080. That's what the camera is set for, and it's set to my own settings. It's not an automatic anything. So this should bring out. There's that horseshoe type design in the middle. Now the orbs have rearranged. See, every now and then they change the arrangement, and that changes the frequency of the cluster. The vibrations frequency does not have to stay the same. You see, the orbs have changed again. Every time they change positions, that it retunes the cluster to whatever task it's supposed to be doing at the time. And it does many tasks. It performs for many individuals, because it is the nucleus of a large cluster, and everyone in the larger cluster that's outside, all those red things outside of it, the insects all around it, they are the ones that require the nucleus to do the right thing for the entire larger cluster. that surrounds the nucleus. So the nucleus is the hub or the center and the focal point of the greater cluster operation. And this is why it is very important. When it powers up like that into a plasma state, that means that the energy is being created, and you can see the organisms revolving around each other counterclockwise, faster and faster and faster, and you can see the mass of them getting hotter. So as they get hotter, the nucleus gets hotter, and the nucleus turns into plasma, which is the hexahedron cluster itself. There it goes. Okay, now you see that the energy field on the perimeter of the cluster of the nucleus has changed. It's now green and yellow, and eventually it will be all pure white. You won't be able to see the perimeter, because then it'll be just pure plasma. Those green and white are semi-plasma states. The green is cooler, the yellow is a little hotter, and the white is red hot. And there it goes. Now it's powered up enough to feed energy to all the other entities that make up the greater cluster, and you can see other clusters have formed all around to also contribute to feeding energy to the larger mass of organisms. And there you go. There's teleporting going on. There's energy distribution going on. There's energy sharing going on. There's a lot of community support going on, because that is a living community. It's an entire social structure and behavior, and it's insect-type social structure and behavior. So everybody has a task, and they all perform it. There are no fights or anything like that. Everybody just does what they're supposed to be doing. You can see the teleporting going on between the red clusters and the nucleus. You can see the red orbs being shot back and forth from the nucleus into the red orbs. The red orb clusters are to the left bottom of the hexahedron, and you can see that the hexahedron is just getting more and more pure plasma, and that it's really heating up. And this is up in the air. Now this is not on the ground. So those things go up and look like stars, and you see one with a naked eye, you would say it's a star, and I don't blame you. Anyone would consider that it is a star, because it's so far away you can't see it. But if you have a camera that can reach that far, then you can see what's really going on, and that all the stars around here that I see are like this, and they're homegrown. They grew themselves right here, a couple of kilometers from me in Toronto, and then they go up in the sky and pretend to be stars and star constellations, and that's what we see around here. So this is the final thing I had to really add to my collection. I made about a dozen videos regarding all these matters, which I intend to upload and post on my channel, Super Mushmouth. And I hope that as many people as possible take the time out to watch my videos, because I think these are important issues, and all the things that I've said are true, and I have gone about very systematically proving everything I've said with just a simple camera, which is no more than 5 inches long and 2 inches wide and 2 inches high. So it's a good camera, but it does a big job for a little thing like it is. So this is what's happening, and you just saw the formation of a hexahedron cluster, and I hope that this comes out more clearly than the last time I filmed a hexahedron cluster in 480 and posted it on my channel. And you just saw the workings of a hexahedron cluster, and I tried to explain a few things as quickly as I could, since long videos take days to load up, and I just don't have that kind of time to waste on YouTube, and there's no reason to take that long to load up videos anyway. So thank you for watching, and have a great night. Take care.